My son writes his father a letter every Christmas, and I mail every one of them. The man has never opened one, and I pay the woman at his front desk to tell me so. Her name was Denise. Every December I'd slide 2 20s across her desk, and she'd walk to the mailroom and come back shaking her head. Still sealed, hon, she'd say. Never even touched it. I'd nod, drive home, and tell my son the truth in the gentlest voice I owned. His father and I split when Danny was 4. I'd convinced myself he walked out on us, so I changed our number, moved us across town, and never looked back. As far as I was concerned, he'd earned every bit of it. Danny didn't know any of that. He's 9 now, and he still believes that if he writes the perfect letter, his dad will finally write back. Every Christmas Eve, he'd sit at the kitchen table with his tongue between his teeth, sealing the envelope like it was made of glass. Do you think he'll read it this year, Mom? I don't know, baby, I'd say. Then I'd mail it, pay Denise, and come home able to say honestly, he didn't open it. This year, Danny handed me the letter and said, I want to give it to him myself. Danny, you always mail them and he never writes back. Maybe if he sees me. His voice cracked. Please. I told myself it would be a mercy. Let him see the sealed pile. Let the man's silence do what my words never could. So I drove him downtown to the building with the front desk. Denise saw us walk in and her face did something strange. Oh, you brought? He wanted to deliver it himself. I said, sure. She reached for her drawer. I'll take it up, sweetheart. No need for you to. I want to wait, Danny said. I'll wait right here until he comes down. He's not in today, then I'll wait till tomorrow. Denise's hand was shaking on the drawer. I slid the 20s across on reflex, and that's when a man stood up from the chairs across the lobby. He'd been sitting there the whole time. Older than I remembered, thinner, a paper coffee cup going cold in his hands. He looked at Danny like a man looking at water in a desert. Danny, he said. My son turned around. Dad, you got so big. His voice broke. Then his eyes came up to me, and they weren't angry. They were confused. You came. After all this time, you actually came down. Denise told me every year, I said. You never opened a single letter. He went very still. What letters? The lobby tilted under me. The ones I've mailed here every Christmas for 5 years. Danny's letters. I've never gotten a letter from my son in my life. He turned to Denise, his voice dropping low. I gave you my replies every December. I sat in that chair and wrote back and handed them to you because I didn't have their address. You said you mailed them. Denise's mouth opened. Nothing came out. I reached over the desk and yanked the drawer she'd been guarding. It was full. Envelopes, dozens of them. Rubber banded, every one addressed in a man's careful hand to my son Danny. Every one stamped and dated and never mailed. Underneath them sat Danny's letters. All 5 years of them slit open along the top, the edges gone soft from being read and read again. He opened every one. I whispered. You told me he never touched them. Denise finally found her voice. You paid me to tell you that. I gave you what you wanted to hear. And she was right. That was the part that dropped the floor out from under me. She'd never once had to lie to me. She just handed me the story I drove downtown to buy, $40 at a time for 5 straight Christmases. Danny was already across the lobby, both arms around a father who'd sat in that chair every December waiting for a boy who was always just outside the door. And I stood there holding 2 20s I'd never get to hand her, finally understanding that I hadn't been mailing my son's letters into silence. I'd been paying a stranger to keep my son's father a stranger too.